Hey everybody, welcome back to another Jackson Jet Setting cruise review. So today we are checking out the Disney Wish and everything there is to do on board. We absolutely love this ship. We love the Aqua Mouse, we love the Hyperspace Lounge, we loved all the other bars on board. So we're going to show you everything that we did over 3 nights. There's a ton to do, so let's get going. So we stayed at the Hyatt Regency Grand Cypress the night before, took Ace Luxury Transportation out to the ship. It was pretty reasonable at about $300 round trip for our group. The van can fit 10, so pretty good savings there if you're staying off property. Highly recommend them. What I love about Port Canaveral is that you see the ship right as you cross the bridge there, so you get all excited. Disney, of course, has its own terminal that you check into, so the Disney Magic starts right as soon as you get into the building. You do your check-in. It takes only a few minutes. The line's not too long. Ride the escalators up and you're in the main terminal. We arrived at about 11:30 a.m. They hadn't started letting people on board yet, and we were a very early group, so we knew that it wasn't going to be too long of a wait in there. They were decorating everything for Christmas, which was really fun, and they had a little VR game for their model of the Disney Magic. So plenty to do actually in the terminal for about 30 minutes or so if you're trying to kill time. You have the famous Mickey Mouse that you walk through, so we were all excited to walk through that. It shows the family of the day, and then they got going with the boarding. It was maybe 5 or so minutes. I've seen kind of long lines for people waiting on the gangway for the families to be called on board, which is kind of a fun experience, but we didn't really experience that, which is great. So we are here getting ready to start our vacation. So here's a little shot of our group walking on board. So all the kids are excited, and there's a cast member there passing out wands, and Rapunzel from Tangled, it was on the balcony when we walked in. Super fun stuff. So unfortunately, Disney is no longer doing the virtual muster stations. They did a physical muster station drill, which was absolutely awful, and it was indoors. But our first thing to do on board was the Aqua Mouse as soon as it opened at noon. This thing can get 30-minute, 45-minute lines, and it's honestly, I don't think worth that long of a wait. So we wanted to make sure that we got on there as soon as possible, and we were super early. And one of the first to ride it on our voyage. So the Aqua Mouse is, of course, the first attraction at sea. It has real theming. It has a small little story as you go up the lift hill. It's basically like a water coaster like the Aqueduct on the other ships, but with a longer lift hill. A little bit less exciting, I think, as a result. But it's pretty cool. They have this conveyor belt that loads you in, which is part of the reason why the lines get so long, is they have a timed story. So they have to measure things out exactly, just like a real attraction. For whatever reason, me and my buddy Garrett decided to ride together on this voyage, which was fun. Partysaurus Rex is the other slide on board. It's the big yellow slide, a little bit more open for the kids, so a little bit more laid back than the Aquamouse, which kind of sprays you like crazy in the eyes. So Aquamouse, you know, was really cool to do. I don't think it's really worth the wait. This slide, a little bit more my style, I think. Just a traditional water slide with a little bit of theming, which is really fun. So next up on the agenda was lunch. So Marceline Market is the ship's buffet. Fantastic offerings here, I think. I wish that this place was honestly open for dinner because some nights our dinners ran a little long, and on a longer voyage, hopefully they open this up because it's nice to have that option. Fantastic, you know, crab claws, shrimp, grilled shrimp, all your kind of typical American items. They have charcuterie boards. Everything's super high quality there, super amazing. So we watched a little bit of Aladdin, and then it was time to go check out the Oceaneer Club, which is fantastic on this ship. They have a slide that's open to everyone during open house that goes straight into the club. The kids absolutely went bonkers for this. So super fun there. You wash your hands, and then you are good to go in the club. So then it was like pretty quickly time for the sail away party. Our room was ready. We dropped our stuff off, and then we ran up and checked this out. So they blast the ship's horn, which plays When You Wish Upon a Star, and other things actually. But the main one is When You Wish Upon a Star. But we got a nice little sail away in terms of weather from Port Canaveral, which was great. Love a good sail away. Really great sunset today over the Disney Wishes Tower Suite right there. So that's the priciest room on board. It's a 2-story suite. Saw the little SpaceX ship that I think they use for landing the rocket boosters, which is pretty cool. So of course Port Canaveral, right next to Cape Canaveral, where they launch all of the space shuttles and spaceships and that sort of thing. It was already time to get a little tasty snack there, so I grabbed some barbecue. Really nice at the Festival of Foods. Really good quality stuff. Checked out some more of the ship, but it was time for our show because we had the late seating this voyage, so we do the shows before dinner. Got good seats, and this was Disney's Seas the Adventure. You can't film during the shows, but really a fantastic time. We had a little bit of time between dinner and the show to grab a drink at Luna. So there's a little shot of the menu in case people care, but they have really cool cocktail menus throughout the entire ship. Every bar basically has its own menu, which I really love. And that wasn't us putting popcorn in the drink. That's actually one of the specialty drinks there. Grabbed something that was kind of like an old-fashioned, pretty nice for dinner, which you cannot pick what dinner rotation you have on the Disney Wish or any of the Disney cruise lines. So we lucked out and had the Worlds of Marvel as our first dinner, which is really fun. Huge story, lots of stuff going on here. It's a really cool imagery of Avengers. Story of this dinner is that Ant-Man and the Wasp are on board and the ship gets shrunk. They have to fix that, and then, of course, there's some villains that show up that Captain America has to fight, Ms. Marvel has to fight, Captain Marvel has to show up and do some stuff. Super fun here. We just love all the theming. They did a really good job. Food was pretty fun. Overall, you're going to see a lot of the food that we had on board here, and I do shots of the menus before all the meals, and you can kind of pick and see what looks good for maybe your voyage. They have a special dessert menu. We had an awesome waitress, and she brought out pretty much every dessert at each of the restaurants for us to try. So they brought out some marble bread instead of marble bread there, which is kind of fun. So Scott Lang and Hope Van Dyne are here to welcome us. Each restaurant has its own cocktail menu as well, so if you want a specialty cocktail or really any other type of drink, you can order that from your waiters as well. We were kind of right next to one of the bigger screens, but there are screens all over the restaurant, so you're able to kind of pick up on what's going on the story here. I will say that it gets a little loud, and sometimes you're ordering and some of the story's going on, so I do think that maybe this could be a little bit shortened and a little bit more cohesive for the story, just to have it last obviously throughout the dinner. You have to press the buttons at certain times to fix the ship, etc. Of course, Pym's technology to shrink and grow some items of food, that sort of thing. But overall, a really fun experience. Yeah, we had a blast for our first dinner here on board. So cool little pearls that were kind of molecular in some of the drinks. Even the non-alcoholic drink right there was pretty cool. It actually was Coke Zero. It actually tasted really good. I was very surprised that it tasted good, but kudos to Disney there. Lots of cool official cutlery there. Delicious salad on the menu. All of the food is from places within Marvel, so there's some Wakandan dishes, there's some Sokovian dishes. I got the bao. Bao was a very popular item. See the kids' meal right there, so some cool dishware for the kids, and they do everything really well for them. Went with the potato soup, which is one of my favorite dishes ever. And then there's the pea soup there. And what was really cool was the kids were really taken care of, and the wait staff would actually cut up some of their steak, which was really cool. Then here's some of the mains. So they had a nice pasta main with some scallops. I went with the ahi tuna. And then there was some gnocchi as well at the table. Really a lot of fun. And so, spoiler alert, the ship doesn't sink and you're able to save the day. And Ant-Man and the Wasp themselves show up to thank everyone for helping, which is super fun. So after that, dessert is brought out. They brought out some little mini brownies here. Cool little cupcake there. I mean, delicious cheesecakes and flourless chocolate cakes. A delicious key lime pie. There's sundaes at every dinner. So they have like a little mini donut in there with a little Pym taster. So super fun. Just amazing desserts, honestly. And so we all were pretty exhausted after dinner, but they were showing Wakanda Forever in the main Walt Disney Theater, so we decided to see that, and we're up till about 1 a.m. As a result, but it was a free movie, and so super cool that Disney does that. The next day was sailing into Nassau, Bahamas. Now, if it's your first or second time in the Bahamas, I do recommend getting off the ship and checking out Nassau. There are things to do on land, but with us paying what we did for this voyage and the brand new ship and how much was going on, we decided, let's stay on the ship this day, kind of make it a sea day since we didn't have a sea day on this voyage, and go just explore more of the ship and have some fun. We were docked right next to the new Carnival Celebration, which has the roller coaster at sea, which is pretty cool. But we went and explored. We did the Increda course, the obstacle course. We started our day with some trivia as well, which was super fun. Enjoyed a little bit of the views. We had the Independence of the Seas right next to us on the other side of the ship. So Nassau does have at least 3, usually between 3 and 5 cruise ships in at any point in time. So it's a very popular spot. Checked out a lot of the views of the ship. The ship is absolutely gorgeous. They did an incredible job outfitting this. Overall, I feel like the ship is pretty easy to navigate. I do think there's some dead ends and some areas that I think the ship could be a little bit wider. But overall, a really fun experience. Some people in our party skipped breakfast and went to the gym, and the breakfast was already closed by the time they got out, so we went over to the Bayou and tried out their beignets, which were absolutely incredible. They are an upcharge, but if you get 3, it's like $3.25 for 3, so not really a huge splurge by any means, and I think they're worth it. Love this space, really cool cocktails, lots of stuff from New Orleans, including Abita beer, which is really a cool detail. So obviously Disney thinks about everything, but it's really just cool to see that extend to the sea. You have Nightingales over here, which is the big piano bar. There's so many cool spaces in this ship. Everything is just designed for that kind of intimate experience, even though the ship is very, very big. Before we knew it, though, it was time to eat again. So we had some more Marceline Market for lunch. The main dining room, one of the main dining rooms is always going to be open for lunch as well, for like a sit-down meal. We've done that on previous cruises, and it's really, really good. Garrett was just going ham on the crab. I feel like Disney definitely lost money on him on the buffet. And what better way to work off lunch than competing against other families on the Incredi course again, which was called the Incredi Games. So this was really fun. It was kind of a relay race. Fortunately, we didn't win, but checking out the Hero Zone a little bit more, they have a cool balcony that you can watch everything from, which also has air hockey. That's all included. Most other ships don't have air hockey. That's free. It's going to be charged in the arcade. They also have some shuffleboard, which is cool. So lots and lots of fun things to do here in the Hero Zone. Even if the Incredi Games are going on, you can come in and do something else for fun. But this was really a cool event. I feel like all the kids and adults really had a lot of fun, and it's more exhausting than it looks. So we definitely felt like we deserved a drink after that, so we decided to finally knock off the Hyperspace Lounge off our list. So when the ship first premiered, they were definitely requiring reservations for this place, but we were able to walk in and find some space for everyone. People kind of come and go. Really, really loved the menu in here, loved the feel and the vibe, loved the screen that basically puts you into hyperspace every 10 minutes or so, and the drinks with the smoke, super, super fun. Felt like it's a better value too than Oga's Cantina. The drinks are still, a little pricey, especially for a cruise, but were cheaper than in the parks. So this is more themed to the style of Star Wars, like in Solo: A Star Wars Story, more of a elegant sort of luxury yacht type of feel, which is super cool. Remind me a lot of what I see from the Star Cruiser at Disney World. I haven't done that yet, but looks really, really fun. And really fun experience in here. You can hang in here for quite a while and probably not get bored. But lots of smoky cocktails and ice with a stormtrooper in there, really cool. I mean, just lots of stuff going on and very otherworldly. So returning back to this planet, we looked over at the Independence of the Seas, and they were doing a belly flop contest, so a little bit of a different vibe on the different cruise lines. Pretty funny there. Lots of World Cup stuff going on, so we stopped by the Keg and Compass to grab a few beers and specialty drinks. All these are extra charge as well, but we decided to splurge a little bit. Lots of character sightings here. We're jumping into Pirate Night, which happens on every voyage. On the 3-nighters, it's a little bit less crazy than the 4 nights because they actually have like a special menu at one of the restaurants. But before that, we decided to stop by the Hooks Barbary, which has a speakeasy from 5 to 8 p.m. that you basically design your own old fashions. They have really expensive whiskeys as well. So this is a really, really cool spot on board. And I really liked the vibe in here. Bartender was great. So overall, I think if you're into the old-fashioned beverages, is the best spot on the boat to get it. if you buy one of the expensive whiskeys, you can get one of these keys, which is pretty cool. So that is exclusive to the Disney Wish, and actually has the Disney Wish logo on there too. They have stuff that's over $2,000 a shot, so pick and choose wisely. It was time for The Little Mermaid. Can't film in that show. Wasn't our favorite show, unfortunately, but we did really love all of the on-deck entertainment for Pirate Night. So they had Mickey and Minnie's little show, more for the kids audience, and it fits in nicely with the early dining, which most of the families do. That was really fun. Captain Hook, of course, takes over the ship, and Mickey and Minnie have to fight back. I mean, Minnie as the captain, honestly, the ship is taken over a lot on 3 days here on board, so I do think that maybe she could heighten her security requirements a little bit more. But it was time for the main event. This is Arendale. This is the frozen dinner experience. We absolutely lucked out with an amazing table, pretty much front row, right in the center of the action. So we were absolutely floored by this. So the menu for tonight is a little bit more, I guess, Norwegian inspired. Never really had Norwegian food, except for maybe a little bit at Epcot. Overall, you know, if you're into like soups and, you know, your ribeyes, etc., it's nothing really too crazy there, but loved the theming of this restaurant and the whole experience. So basically, we are here to celebrate a marriage, so lots of entertainment and singing. Of course, Oaken shows up. They also have Olaf. I mean, just really a lot of fun for the children. A lot of them know this story backwards and forwards, so let's just say that they were very satisfied. So I did love the live violinists and singers that came on a few times. Really were fantastic. Talented musicians across the board. Disney really does a great job with the onboard entertainment. You know, the Broadway style shows are generally way better than anything I've seen, so this really delivered. Of course, all of your Frozen favorites come by and visit for, you know, a half second or so you do get a little bit of FaceTime with Anna and Elsa and everyone, so super cool there for the kids. You see our two kids in our party were just like absolutely mesmerized. So they had like a nice little quiche dish to start. That was really good. This popover scallops thing is kind of the most popular thing I think in this restaurant. That was pretty cool looking. I'm not a big scallops fan, but it was enjoyed by the seafood lovers at the table. Another little soup there. And really fun entertainment in between courses, so they time everything out to where they're not really blocking you during, you know, all the singing and dancing that's going on. Then the entrees came out. We'll say that this dinner ran very long, and we did not want to miss the fireworks. That's like one of the biggest things on the Disney ships, is it's the first fireworks at sea. So at 10:15 we rushed over to the main deck. Kind of had to rush through dessert, unfortunately, even though these desserts were really good, and decided that we wanted to get a good spot for the fireworks, or try to. We ended up lucking out pretty well. This is being Pirates Night, so it's all themed to pirates. They have, you know, Yo-Ho, Pirate's Life for Me, lots of different kind of adventure-y type songs. You know, it's all time to music, so it's just like the theme park, super fun. You know, all the pirates show up, all your favorites, Captain Jack Sparrow, etc. All very exciting. After that, I wanted to try out Disney's Uncharted Adventures, which is on your mobile device. It's an interactive game throughout the ship. There's some physical things that actually happen as well, so you kind of solve mysteries. It's still in beta, so it's not fully out yet, but it was fun that it did launch in time for our voyage. So this is us outside the Hook's Barbary, and Tinkerbell kind of shows up in some of the lights. And then your phone is also kind of like a video game controller for some of the items. I feel like pretty fun. It was cool to have this theme. I think on a longer voyage, you can do all the quests and have a pretty good time. And of course, they can always add more and more. I just wish there was more physically going on with the ship. But we came back to our room and we had a cool towel animal and some doubloons, so the theme continues all the way through to your stateroom. And then the next morning was the big event. It's Disney's Castaway Key, their private island, one of our favorite spots to visit. So on the agenda today was the Disney's 5K, which I was happy to report that they did in fact bring back the medals to the Disney Wish for the 5K, so we were able to secure those, and then grab a good seat on the beach, enjoy some of the water slides, and enjoy some snorkeling. My strategy for Castaway Key is get off the boat as soon as they let you off and grab a good spot on the beach, and then just enjoy your day. You don't really have to do any excursions, in my opinion, especially if it's your first time. You can just enjoy the beach, enjoy the water slides, do all the free activities. You can go visit the adults only beach if you're an adult party. Fortunately, those Castaway Key days are all too short and it was time to get back on board, but we hadn't visited the Rose yet. So this is the adults only bar on board in between Palo Steakhouse and Lumiere's. So we were excited to try this out because we decided, you know what, we're gonna get the $50 Rose cocktail. It's quite a little adventure getting this made. There's, vintage Perrier-Jouet champagne in there. There's Cosmos tequila, which is a very high-end tequila. They smoke it, they give you a full rose. It's super, super cool. Bartenders were great in here, so highly recommend stopping by at least once on your voyage. I'm really glad that we did. Again, smoked cocktails, definitely a theme on board. So dinner was at the Roy Disney 1923 section of the restaurant. So this is kind of their high-end steakhouse. I felt like this was the best food of the three dining rooms. Kind of sad that there wasn't like more of like a show or something like that, but it was actually kind of nice to have a little bit of a break from that. The dinner was a little bit quicker as well, so that part was really nice. But yeah, I had that kind of old Hollywood feel in here, which was really cool. And then after one last activity, match your mate, which is always a lot of fun, we were back in Port Canaveral, sadly. But one thing that I do like that Disney does is one last sit-down meal before you leave. You have a nice sit-down breakfast, a little bit quicker service for sure, but a little bit different than how other cruise lines do it. This is one benefit of the later seating too, so you get to stay on the ship a little bit longer. Your breakfast is pretty early for the early diners. So overall, a wonderful cruise. Would definitely recommend the Disney Wish. I feel like I do like the layout of the Disney Dream more, but all the new stuff on board the Wish was amazing. And thanks for watching.